I can also show you what we are using to repair our tools. So we have an XP farm just east of the storage. And this is really convenient to use. So you just have to stand in the middle, and then you will have all the XP going below the player. And we can also turn on the repair mode. And now we just have to wait. The perimeter has been entirely decked now, so we can start working on the decoration. And actually I helped a bit mining the last few layers, and I did that on stream. So in case you don't know, I stream on Twitch. I try to stream every week on my single player world and also on the Chronos server now. So if you're interested in seeing the behind the scenes of the video and seeing the project a few weeks in advance, I will leave the link in the description. Now the idea for the decoration of this perimeter was to have a giant pixel art of a flame. So people already started building the decoration, so I will quickly join them and I will start the time lapse. Okay, that was actually quick. It took like just a few hours to do this entire floor. So we have two layers, obviously. We have a layer of glass to spawn-proof the perimeter. And we have not started the walls yet. First we want to break all the bedrock here. And to break the bedrock on this perimeter, we'll actually use a piston placer that you may have never seen before. It's a placer that places the 5 layers of pistons at once, and then you can run the 5 breakers at the same time. And actually people have been really quick because the machine is already built and it will be launched really soon. So it's this machine right here, and it's a bit bigger than a usual piston placer obviously, but you can place the 5 layers at the same time. And it's almost the same speed, it's 6 game tick instead of 4. So in almost the same time that it will take to place 1 layer, here we can place the 5 layers. And this machine has been mainly designed by Divided by Zero. So piston placer has been launched, and as you can see it's really fast. And it looks like it's working currently. We'll see when it reaches the end. Okay, now it starts moving. And it looks correct. So everything is moving 1 block, and then it starts again. And while the placer is running, I wanted to mention this here. So we just have a piston on a slime block to push the item on the ice line, and as you can see it looks like the pistons are not even touching the slime blocks, but they are still being moved. And this is due to the boat trick here. So we push the items on the boat and it looks exactly aligned with the block here. But that's not exactly the case here. We have to precisely align the boat, so then the items will get pushed by the slime blocks here. So this is the system that I used before. It detects the items with a tripwire here, and then you have some pistons and a lot of slime to push the item around. So it looks like this. And it works fine, but it's a lot more complicated to build than this one. So we can see this one in action now. As you can see, it does the same thing, but it's a lot simpler to build. And you can make it even simpler by removing this and just have 1 piston and 1 slime block. And it also works. But I think the items here will have less speed, so we'll have to build more of those. And SG showed me yesterday how to align the boat, so I can show you. you first need to place a minecart, then piston, break the rail, zero tick the minecart, place the rail back, and then place the boat and align it against the minecart. Then you can break the minecart and test it. And it works. And I actually don't know who discovered this, so in case you know, please let me know in a comment. And that's enough creative for now, let's go back in survival. Okay, so that was a long time lapse. But now the project is basically done. The farm is completely built and the perimeter is completely decorated. So I guess now we can first check the farm, which is running at the moment. So it's just a one-dimension farm, so it's only in the nether. And obviously this farm is made in a nether. Nether Fortress. And to make sure only Fortress mobs can spawn, we have Nether Bricks. So the mobs are spawning on Nether Bricks. And we have Scaffolding to make sure only the blazes spawn. So they're spawning here on the Pwning's platforms. We have 6 of those. And we use some conveyors with slime and honey to transport the blazes to the middle part. So in the middle we have a conveyor that transports the blazes up. It's kind of hard to see, but we can see sometimes the blazes. And at the top we have a conveyor to transport them in the middle here to this conveyor, which is the last one, to transport the blaze up. So it's kind of hard to see because the FPS is really low. I will add some replay mode shots so it's easier to see. And at the top we have the player, which is killing all the blazes with looting and sweeping edge with the armor stand. And we collect the items with sticky pistons and slime blocks to transport that to the storage, which is here. We only have 4 hoppers. It's 2 4x box loaders. So for 72k items an hour. I'm not sure how fast the farm is, but it should be around 70k an hour. And by the way, this farm has been designed by Camphorwood, which is another Chronos member. And yeah, that's pretty much how the farm works. It's detection based, so every time the player attacks, it triggers the farm. And the scaffolding is not really new. There was old farms that use this trick. But what is new is the conveyors, which are a lot larger, which allows for a lot more spawning spaces. But the fact that this farm is single dimension makes it even better in my opinion. It's much more satisfying to see than just sending all the mobs into portals. And from the storage, all the boxes are sent down along this ice line here, and they are collected at the bottom. So here we have some droppers and a minecart to collect the items, and they are sent to the storage. So that's a nice way. Interesting. So that's a nice way to transport all the items without interfering with the decoration. And they are sent here, so we have just a dropper elevator to this ball storage here. This storage I believe has been designed by Nurse, and I believe he designed most of the storage for the different farms recently. So it has 4 bulk slices, which is enough for 5 million items. I think at the moment we just fill up the first one and we are filling up the second one. And it's also hooked up to the piston bolt. So here you can choose to take some boxes using minecarts. They are stored here. And then you can send those boxes to any location that you want. So it's done using this interface here and also this. I'm not sure how it works yet because I haven't used it, but it's possible and it's really handy because, for example, here with the piston bolt, we can go to a furnace array, which will be built in the future, and we will use blaze rods for this furnace array. So we can just load, let's say, 100 chest minecarts, load them in the piston bolts and send them in the correct destination. This way it's a lot easier to transport all the items than just flying around and transporting them manually. We also have this crafting station here, which is at pretty much every farm, and it's mostly to craft the shulker boxes, I think, because we can craft anything with blaze rods. And yeah, by the way, at this time of recording, pretty much all the piston bolts have been done, which wasn't the case in the beginning of the video, which means the tour will happen really soon. So make sure to join the Chronos Discord if you want to know when it will happen. So now the Blaze Farm perimeter is complete. I really like how this project turned out, and I hope you like it too. And it means that it's the end of the first video. So stay tuned for the next one, and I will see you later. Bye!
One day, this guy, Mohammed, he's working the food cart, and then this guy shows up causing problems. Now let's call him Pops. Now Mohammed, he's a Muslim, and Pops, he really doesn't like that.
your daughter like Muhammad did? The Holy Quran that some people use as a toilet? That's why you're selling food in a food cart, because you're ignorant.
Now, Muhammad and the guys who work at the food cart, they report Pops to the police. But police don't do anything because, you know, it's New York. So Muhammad's coworker, Sam, he starts recording these interactions. And somehow, those videos make their way over to this woman, Layla. Now, Layla's an activist, and she posts this on her Twitter asking people to identify Pops. And that is where this TikToker sees it. Tizzy. Tizzy is huge on TikTok, and he's sort of an activist himself. And this is kind of what he does. He identifies people who are acting like a jerk in a video. So, does Tizzy identify who Pops is?
Yes, I do, and I don't think you're prepared.
Now, right as Tizzy is uploading this TikTok identifying who Pops is, a second and third video drops of Pops harassing Muhammad and Sam.
It's not my fault that you pray to a criminal. You're a terrorist.
So, who exactly is Pops? Well,
I spent 2 years in the White House in the national security staff.
yeah, dude was a diplomat. He worked for the W. Bush and the Obama administrations. He was also the deputy director of the State Department's Office of Israel and Palestinian Affairs. What the... So of course, with this new revelation, these videos are blowing up all over Twitter and TikTok. And then the press picks it up and they start reaching out to Pops and he's like giving interviews. He of course tells the story very differently.
This whole thing started when I innocently asked him if he was Egyptian. He said yes.
That same day, the lobbying firm that he works with, they see all the news and they see all the videos. Not only do they suddenly drop him in a Twitter post, but the president of the company, who I guess is a lawyer, he offered to represent the food vendors pro bono if they want to bring a harassment lawsuit. And then that becomes a news story. And at this point, all of this news is everywhere. And suddenly there's a lot of public pressure. And then I assume that the police finally decide like, okay, Pops definitely committed a crime, and then they go and arrest him.
What do you want to say to the Muslim community about your remarks, Stuart?
And he gets charged with aggravated harassment, a hate crime, and stalking. Now, as for the food cart guys, a GoFundMe was set up and they raised $35,000 for them. And because of all this attention, they now have a ton of business. Shout out to New York.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're watching funny Phineas and Ferb episode.
And today we're joined by Kian Carlisle.
What's up?
If you guys want us to watch more Phineas and Ferb to get this video to 30,000 likes.
Jesus Christ.
The Phineas and Ferb fans will pull up, all 30,000 of them.
Subscribe, or we'll spill milk on you.
So the annual problem for our generation is finding a good way to spend it.
I was gonna say, when does Finn pull that chick that's like way too old for him?
Is Vanessa a groomer, though?
Ferb is like 12, right? And Vanessa was 16.
No, Ferb was 8 and Vanessa was 16.
What? He was 8?
Wait, what?
And Dan Povenmire, the co-creator of the show, is like, you know, when I was 19, I was dating a 27-year-old. It's pretty normal, guys. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, I don't know. When I was 8, I was like, yo, Ferb got that shit unlocked. But now I'm like, that's weird.
Where do you find a mummy?
Hidden deep in the bowels of the pyramids.
I remember this episode because my mom would watch like every episode as they came out with me, but she was gone this night. So my dad watched this one with me, and this was coincidentally the episode where they're with their dad.
Dan Povenmire was watching your ass.
Undead mommy and me.
Dad, can we...
When their parents don't love them, so they want a mummy.
Mr. Employee, sir, where's the mummy exhibit?
Why are they all shirtless? This is such a weird fucking place.
Why does only one of them have nipples?
You're only allowed to have nipples for comedic effect for being fat. Like, that's the only situation where nipples are allowed.
Who knew looking for mummies would be so much fun?
This is a weird episode because normally Phineas and Ferb like invent things, but with this one, they're just like completely delusional going on this adventure where they think they have a mummy.
It is really weird. And it's like Indiana Jones. Oh my god.
Where's digitally de-aged Harrison Ford when you need him?
Dude, Candace has a terrible hairline. I never noticed.
Well, she's got the same hairline as Phineas. It's just she grows her hair out, but all the hair just stems from the very, like, back region of her head.
I need those, like, disturbing hyper-real renders of the Phineas and Ferb characters.
No use, Perry the Platypus. I made this out of something that cannot be penetrated.
Did Doofenshmirtz just make a condominator?
That would be the perfect application of that. Something that cannot be penetrated. He could mass produce this.
Yes, and then it would be 100% effective.
It'll never rip.
It doesn't matter how many holes you poke. I cannot do it, Doofenshmirtz.
What?
There might not even be such thing as a mummy. Yeah, I'll be right with you. I mean...
Me when I see a white woman.
Ah! No, I'm not gonna binge 10 seasons of The Office with you.
This is like a Scooby-Doo moment.
Phineas and Ferb is more ethnic than your average Scooby-Doo episode.
Well, yeah, Phineas's head is shaped like a tortilla chip, so that's why.
That would explain why he gets with Isabella, you know what I mean? Like, maybe it's like a genetic type of thing, you know what I mean?
Hey, where's our mummy? Mummy? Mommy!
Well, Mummy has supper waiting for us at home.
You know.
Why is she stuck in the back seat, though? That sucks.
Chaka was open.
Well, a musical act goes to the top of the charts with a catchy tune and meaningless lyrics.
That's just a banger.
That is a banger. What the hell?
Did they release this shit on Spotify?
And after that, they never sing again. And no one remembers them.
She left out all the like coke and crazy sex.
Yeah, she's gonna tell her 8-year-old children that, yeah. Now that I know Phineas and Ferb are 8 years old, this like changes everything. I thought they were like 12.
See, they act like they're 12, but for some reason they're 8.
How's the catchy tune coming along? Excellent. We'll be done by lunch.
Inside Olivia Rodrigo HQ.
Olivia makes her own music.
What song should I copy today? Dude, if Olivia Rodrigo made like one original song in her entire life, like maybe I would stand.
You haven't even listened to the album.
Oh, hi Jeremy. Are you auditioning too?
Nah, I came to see this hot new band called PFT.
Oh my god, it's Mitchell Musso.
Wait, no way.
That's Mitchell Musso, the guy who got arrested for public intoxication.
Is Jeremy actually voiced by Mitchell Musso?
Famous alcoholic.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ferbettes.
The Ferbettes. He's letting his girlfriend be a Ferbette? Phineas, I don't know about that.
I like how the Ferbette character designs, it's like Isabella, the one that's actually a character in the show, and then the other three. Like
Actually, that one's named Gretchen. That one's named Holly.
No way.
He knows.
No way.
Kian knows the deep lore.
Well, that's why we got Kian here.
I will unleash an unprecedented reign of terror upon the entire...
Yo, Puerto Rico mentioned. Puerto Rico mentioned.
Did Doofenshmirtz want to destroy Puerto Rico? Is that his like real goal?
That's his end game.
Yeah, he has like a giant red circle around Puerto Rico right there.
Sorry, Perry the Platypus.
The record scratch.
They cut it off, man. I was jamming.
Hand me the aux cord. You just played that on a loop.
Ma'am, you're gonna have to come back and pay for that.
Yes, of course, officer.
White woman privilege, though. Can we talk about that? How is she not getting shot in the street right now? This isn't even white privilege. This is pretty privilege because, I mean, she looks beautiful. Okay, can we be real here?
Follow up single? Who do you think we are? Some two-bit hacks who'll keep writing new songs just because you pay us obscene amounts of cash? Phineas and the Ferb tones are strictly...
Damn, they really sped run fame.
We've still got this videotape of their performance. We can do live CDs, DVDs, podcasts. Heck, we can digitally recreate their images to make our own sitcom.
We can digitally recreate their images to make their own sitcom.
This is ahead of its time. But the actor strike is over, so that's cool.
The tape!
I love how Doofenshmirtz smashed through a brick building.
The only reaction they had was the tape.
My tape!
Well, you like to sing, right?
Yeah.
Then you shouldn't let your brother's fun ruin your good time.
He's really pink. Like he looks like a hot dog.
He's probably Australian.
He has the most American Australian accent I've heard in my life.
The one time Candace was an annoying bitch and played along for once in her goddamn fucking life.
What is Ashley Tisdale doing now?
She's doing Phineas and Ferb season 5.
Mom, Phineas and Ferb are doing another season.
Let's go.
Did Disney just have like one person who could sing in like the entire studio for like 10 years or something? Like,
No, they have a factory of alternating white women who are famous singers. Like, do you not understand the Disney like machine?
Ashley Tisdale was the only one who wasn't too famous to do the cartoon.
It's sad but true.
There's 104 days of summer vacation.
I always envy this because Canadian summer vacation is shorter than this.
Nah, that shit isn't even 104
No, we
days.
don't have 104 days.
Wait, no, we get 3 months, so it's more like 90 days.
I get 2 months.
At this point in time, it was pretty typical for shows to get like 26 episode seasons and 2 seasons. So that'd be 52. Then they're 11-minute segments, so 104. So that's where the 104 comes from.
Dude, no way.
That's how many episodes they thought they were probably gonna get, and then they got like 400 episodes or so.
That's gonna be my cringy party conversation starter. So did you know that in Phineas and Ferb, when they say 104 days?
Stacy, it's been 4 days. I'm not expecting Prince Charming to bring me a glass slipper or anything.
Jack, you basically have that with your Disney Princess poster. You could just put a picture of like Core, Jack, and...
I could put myself on there. I'm in love with myself.
Oh, there you are. Come on, boy. Here, just take a seat. Day.
He's so flaccid. Like, Perry is just like a flaccid little boy.
If that's flaccid, I'm screwed, man.
Ferb and I have invented a Perry translator so we can finally figure out what he's saying.
That's great.
I feel like you could say anything to Isabel and she would say, that's great. Like, we're gonna blow up Puerto Rico.
That's great.
Yeah, that's Susie's dog. Who's so go.
That's how you know you're in a rich family. When the child has their own dog. It's not the family dog, it's their dog. You know what I mean?
Most girls really aren't into stuff like this.
Most girls.
He's like, yo, babe, do you want to come over and watch me play Call of Duty all night? Like,
That's my idea of a romantic date. I don't know about you.
I'm playing Mario Wonder and she's wondering why the fuck she's there. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
That was kind of bars, I'm not gonna lie.
That went hard.
Let's tell all the owners what their pets want, starting with this little fella right here.
This episode fully establishes that all animals are completely sentient and capable of critical thought, and then he's gonna go home and have like the fucking steak that his mom cooks for dinner.
Phineas looks God in the eyes and says, I am your maker, bro. He does not give a fuck about, he'll eat a dog right now.
I've got a small cranial capacity. Look at me. I don't have opposable thumbs. I eat with my face. I sweat through my tongue. I'm a furry flea.
I love that they have a gorilla in their yard.
Where the fuck did that gorilla go? There's an elephant here.
There's an alligator.
This is like he's fucking assembling Noah's Ark right now.
Day one at the furry convention, POV.
The white woman at the furry convention be like,
Bro, this literally is Noah's Ark. It literally is Noah's Ark.
Doof's Ark. What is the most convenient thing in all of New York? What the fuck?
Dude, it's not New York, it's the tri-state area.
It's the hit city of Danville.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, Danville. The most creative city of all time.
It's Dan Povenmire's self-insert city.
Next, the tip of a shoelace. Yes, that little heart.
Oh my god.
Bro, it's
here it
Aglet,
comes.
dude. It's Aglet. Don't forget
no
it, dude.
spoilers,
Don't forget
man.
it.
No fucking spoilers.
Don't spoil this shit.
Wow, 20 people email me the same video.
I gotta check this out.
Why is she holding the mouse like this? She's holding that shit
She's a
sideways.
gamer.
That's optimal, bro. That's literally optimal.
Aglet, Mom.
Aglet, you too, Phineas?
No, Mom. The shoelace tip?
How interesting.
Moms just be bullshitting, man. Like, they just have to deal with all this bullshit all day. Like, my son just said the weirdest thing to me. All right.
Because it doesn't matter. You can live a long, happy life without knowing the tip of the shoelace is called the... It doesn't matter.
This is kind of true, though. Like, every person our age would have lived their whole life without knowing what the fuck it's called, without this episode being created. Now everybody knows what it's called.
Well, I just like the message of this episode. That's like, it's fun to know obscure knowledge. Like, it's just kind of fun.
I love how Candace is so riled up by people knowing what an aglet is.
It's called a universal delete button. It can delete any file on the internet from every computer on the planet.
That is incredibly useful.
They should sell that to people who get canceled on Twitter.
I'll give that shit to James Charles, bro.
What's an aglet?
Ferb, enlighten us.
I love how they're raising awareness for it like it's breast cancer.
Yeah, Phineas and Ferb could have cured cancer by now, but they be talking about shoelaces.
They just made a conscious decision not to.
Well, they're aware that the government would kill them if they found the cure.
Aglet. The promotion is yours. Aglet.
Jack, start saying it.
Aglet.
I wish there was a viral video of me singing going around the world.
I bet you'd become an Insta star.
This is what every 15-year-old girl thinks.
Well, this is even more true now because it's like they interview kids and like half of them, their dream is like, I want to be a YouTuber.
Don't do it, bro. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it. It's not worth the pain and suffering.
Of having to watch cartoons every single day.
You know how hard it is to have to watch TV shows and then talk about them?
It's fucking hard, man.
Oh, this video is ruining my life, Perry the Platypus. I can't even go outside my own evil lair.
Hey, look!
It's that idiot from the video!
This is Dream at the grocery store, bro.
Where's your mask, buddy?
Is this an Aglet for AIDS concert?
They had an AIDS concert scheduled, but they just like canceled it to do an Aglet one instead. It seemed more important.
The Aglet is more important. That makes sense.
A-G-L-E-T. Get
Don't
it.
forget it. I love how it's like Christian summer camp song.
This might not be one of my favorite songs.
Shut up.
Shut up.
They're gonna tie the world together because it's an Aglet. You don't fucking get it, Core.
Look, they're even doing it in China.
During COVID, instead of singing like whatever bullshit, imagine all the people or some fucking bullshit, they should have sung A-G-L-E-T.
Pedro Pascal singing Aglet.
Just a few. Anyway, here is mud in your eye.
I just love that the fucking question mark showed up on the billboard, like.
And I won't be needing this anymore. I'm free.
Look! It's that idiot from the video again!
Let's use mockery to keep him inside.
Doofenshmirtz responds to fucking hate comments, bro.
Cyberbullying.
Discovering something that doesn't exist, or giving a monkey a shower.
I went to a music festival in Virginia, and I was just seeing this one band, which like seemed vaguely familiar, but I didn't really know them. And then they did the Phineas and Ferb opening, and the crowd went fucking ham for it.
Shout out Bowling for Sue.
The Chronicles of Meep.
Who is Meep? I don't even know who this character is.
You'll find out. You won't be disappointed.
And the windup. And it's a still right.
This is what the computer science kids do instead of playing like fucking sports, man. Like,
I would say that's more of like a physics or engineering side of things.
Oh, hey, here's a package for you.
My Bangaroo!
Your what?
My Bangaroo!
oh, she's a Hello Kitty girl. Oh shit, she got fucking My Melody, bro.
Frog! He's gonna be the cutest thing. You're just gonna.
That thing is fucked up.
Cool.
This is so bullshit. That is how the episode starts. You get that 2010 CGI here.
That is cute. Hey, are you okay?
They struck gold with Perry in the Marvel plushie. They tried making another one, and I don't think anyone bought a plushie of this guy.
This creature looks like such an old internet, like, kawaii character. He looks like something I would see on, like, OMG Pop.
Let's fix us an alien spaceship.
Meep!
And they just play like the same sound clip over and over. There's no like multiple takes of it. It's just Lorenzo Lamas said meep one time.
Meep! Meep!
This is comedy gold. Comedy gold.
I wonder what exciting mission we have for you today. Excuse me.
Oh shit.
That's why he's always like so distracted. Like he's got a little more pressing issues to attend to.
Carl picked up his powder for him, bro.
Meep. He's the most adorable thing in the world.
I hate Meep. I don't like Meep. I'm gonna be.
I'm a Meep stan till I fucking die.
I'm a Meep stan.
I got a Meep tattoo on my prostate, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I believe the answers are best expressed in backstory form. When I was a boy.
Whenever I was a kid, this is what I thought Europe looked like. Because, like, this is the only way they show it in this show.
This is what Europe looks like.
That's what my family looks back in Portugal, bro.
Long backstory short. I got a balloon.
Oh my god.
This episode is iconic. What the fuck?
I tried to reach out and grab him, but and I never saw Balloony again.
This isn't even an evil plan. He just wants a balloon.
He just wants his balloon.
Oh
Here
shit!
we go, here we go.
Yo!
No, 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 no,
I'm
way.
eight. Yo.
You're digging my ride from outer space.
Did Baby Ferb just rizz her up?
You're twice his age. You're twice his
And
age.
he's got double the fucking riz, bitch!
It's so bad that she's into it.
I think I saw this one on the red carpet the other night.
Oh shit, Meep's gonna beat the fuck out of someone.
Oh, sorry.
Your irresponsibility makes our jobs as security guards a million times.
How about they just put their hats on top of their furry costumes?
Yeah, you're in big trouble.
Oh, I thought they just died.
Eviscerates them into dust.
Although, I keep getting this weird cute interference from someone.
The shipping. Oh my god, I'm 10 years old and I need them to date so bad, but genuinely, how many seasons does it take before like something actually happens?
Well, they did the one flash forward episode where they get together.
So that's the only episode where something actually happens?
That's pretty much it, yeah.
That's no cloud. That's a space station.
Oh my god, Nope. That's Nope.
Jordan Peterson, he ripped off Meep episode.
Think about it, Nope kind of sounds like Meep. Let's get that in there.
I am known by many names throughout the universe. Well, two mainly. Mitch.
Mitch McConnell?
He used to be powerful. Look at him.
Wow, cool.
This is a Rick and Morty episode. Can we talk about that?
Well, Phineas and Ferb is just Rick and Morty for kids.
But Rick and Morty is for kids, bro. Let's be honest.
Yeah, actually, the average viewer base of Phineas and Ferb might be older.
Oh, man, what the? Oh, hello. We're right in the middle of a showdown, if you don't mind.
It looks like Captain Mihawk or whatever his name is.
What?
Hawkeye Mihawk.
What?
Because he has a British accent and he has a really long mustache. It's literally Hawkeye Mihawk.
What?
No, that's where I keep... It's you! Balloony!
He captured Looney.
It looks like that fucked up CG thing in Courage the Cowardly Dog that says like no one will ever love you or some shit like that.
My real best friend is Perry the Black.
That was like so uncalled for.
That's just kind of sad, man.
That's just really sad.
Don't be silly, Isabella. I took into account your cuteness and adjusted the cute meter settings accordingly from...
No way, dude.
Unspoken Riz right there.
Autism Riz.
Huh?
Bro, when are they adding Meep to multiverses?
Oh my god.
Playing Meep is like Meta Knight and Brawl.
Yikes.
Children, thank you for...
It's a Markiplier.
That sounds exactly like Markiplier.
An alien monster! Get to the ship!
Actually, that's my mother-in-law, so yeah, she's correct. Let's get out of here!
If you guys want us to make a video with our mother-in-laws,
what?
Make sure you go subscribe to Kian. He makes awesome videos on a bunch of stuff that we watch on the channel.
Subscribe to the hit channel Spilling the Milk. I've heard they make YouTube videos.
I don't know about that.
Alejandro Paredes, Atomic Leon, Bento, Kane Rivers, Kamlu, Cosmic Dega, Crystal Bunny, Daryl Herb, Diane Stalk.
Hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet. So how is this even possible?
You're gonna click your tongue in your mouth, and then you're gonna compress your cheeks, and you'll let out a little cloud. Let me show you.
Oh. Hi, how you doing?
This mermaid had an emergency situation and needed to come up for air.
Oh, hopefully they don't have a ring. God!
Artificial intelligence is getting really good. They have programs that are able to take still images and turn them into videos. I found a YouTuber that made a laser beam that can be guided using his eyes.
Frown, cry for me, scream in terror. What's the deal? You seem to like it. Nailed it!
So I guess this is how Russian people commute to work.
Чё, пацаны, проезд подорожал, да, в автобусе?
I just found out that ice tennis exists. That is the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Later.
If you haven't seen this video, the glitch attraction is Escape Room FNAF.
Brawl Stars just got itself some brand new lore! See this camera in the games menu? Well, click it and you'll be taken to a secret
The tool-assisted speedruns for Red Ball 4 Volumes 1, 2, and 3 are absolutely insane. Released from 2012 to 2013, these 3 installments share various glitches and physics exploits that speedrunners have utilized for almost a decade to beat these games significantly faster than intended. Most notably, a double jump glitch is used in almost every single level to skip various puzzles and obstacles to attain a much higher top speed than otherwise possible. However, thanks to the more recent development of tool-assisted speedruns for these games, the true potential of Red Ball 4's mechanics and its physics engine, Box2D, have finally been realized. In early 2021, humans were barely able to break the 3-minute barrier in Red Ball 4 Volume 1 Any% thanks to the discovery of a new glitch in level 15, the boss roll, that saved almost 25 seconds. However, soon after this feat, Roblox 8192 and Koala Bread authored a task of this game that clocked in at 1 minute and 59 seconds, an entire minute faster. For a game this short, the difference was absolutely mind-blowing. By programming a seemingly perfect sequence of inputs ahead of time, the task built up a large amount of speed in the early levels and then maintained it for almost the entire remainder of the run. Double jumping and corner boosting were far more broken than people could have ever imagined just a few months prior. After Roblox and some others gave Volumes 2 and 3 the same treatment, the minute gap over the Any% real-time records persisted. Fast forwarding to the present day, 50 more seconds have collectively been saved with the current Any% tasks, and it's almost all thanks to one person, Starline, who is the primary author of each run. So please join me as I explain the magic behind the tool-assisted speedruns of the Red Ball 4 Flash volumes. If you have seen my Red Ball Task Explain video released in 2021, then you are probably aware of some of the barriers that exist to making tool-assisted speedruns of Flash games. To make a proper task of a Flash game, you have to find an emulator that is able to run it, and then hope your emulator and game combination is also supported by the Linux tasking utility libtask. Back in 2021, the most advanced Flash game emulator, Ruffle, had zero compatibility whatsoever for games programmed in ActionScript 3, which included the entire Red Ball series. To task these games, the community had to create modified versions of each installment to provide features like save states, pausing, frame advance, memory watch, and input recording and playback. For the Red Ball 4 volumes, each of the mods were created by Face McDude, an extremely impressive feat given how obfuscated the code is when decompiled. While Ruffle compatibility has improved enough over the past 2 years to make the Red Ball games somewhat playable, poor performance and differences from the stock Flash player has prevented it from being used in any kind of Red Ball speedruns for the time being. Therefore, every Red Ball 4 tasks, including the 3 authored by Starline that we will be analyzing, were created with Face McDude's task hacks. Typically, the games look like this when playing back an input string, and this with the player details disabled. But for your viewing pleasure, I further modified the games to improve the heads-up display and add widescreen support. These values track Red Ball's X and Y position in units. These values track his X and Y velocity in units per second. This tracks his current angle in radians, and this tracks his angular velocity in units per second. Red Ball's circumference is approximately 4.19 units, meaning that an angular velocity of that value would represent a full rotation each second. The y-axis in Flash is flipped opposite of the typical coordinate plane, so negative y velocity points upwards, and y position increases as you go downwards. The stage size is 640 by 480 pixels, no matter how large you make the game window, and there are 30 stage pixels per unit. In any percent, there is no requirement or restrictions on glitches or medals and achievements collected. And timing begins the first frame that Red Ball is visible after skipping the opening cutscene. Just one level in, there is already an enormous amount to unpack. At low speeds, while Red Ball is on the ground, pressing the right button will increase Red Ball's X velocity by about 1.19 units each frame, and his angular velocity by 0.567 units each frame. The physics engine wants these two values to be equal, so it converts some of the X velocity into angular velocity at a 1:2 ratio. Almost. So the frame ends at 1.07 X velocity and 0.81 angular velocity. The next frame, the left button is pressed in addition to the right button, which you may think is equivalent to pressing nothing, but that is actually not the case. With no input on the ground, Red Ball will lose 1.7% of his speed each frame. But when pressing left and right at low speeds, this decrease is actually ignored. The exact purpose of this left press isn't known because the inputs for level 1 were actually mostly generated with a brute forcing script which tried around 100,000 combinations to determine which one produced the fastest time with the highest exit velocity. Regardless, this pause allows Red Ball's X velocity and angular velocity to roughly equal out at 0.98. From here, it's not really feasible to go frame by frame to explain Red Ball's changes in velocity because the system for doing so is orders of magnitude more complicated than it is in Red Ball 1. All you really need to know is that the game has a soft cap of 11 for velocity in the X direction, meaning that the game will stop applying acceleration from the right button once this value has been reached. However, if this limit is able to be exceeded, say by rolling down a slope, the game will allow that velocity to be maintained. At this spot on the slope, we will already witness the first instance of double jumping in the run, and this is how it works. If the jump key is pressed for exactly one frame, there is a window of 3 to 8 frames inclusive after this input where pressing jump again will yield an extra jump. The game uses this formula to determine what Y velocity to add to Red Ball when jumping based on what his Y velocity will be on the next frame before the jump. If it will be greater than -2, the jump will subtract 9.55 from the Y velocity. If it will be less than -5, the jump will subtract 4.775 from the Y velocity, and if it will be between -2 and -5, the amount applied follows a linear relationship between -9.55 and -4.775. With a double jump, the grounded jump always yields -9.55 Y velocity, and since gravity adds 0.5 to Red Ball's Y velocity every frame, the second jump always yields an additional -4.775 Y velocity. While a jump always applies the same upwards force to Red Ball no matter how long the input is pressed, this 6-frame window means that there are 6 different heights that can be obtained from a double jump. This glitch is an artifact of a mechanic implemented in the game called Coyote Time, which allows the player to still jump up to 8 frames, or 0.267 seconds, after they have fallen off of a platform. This grace period is intended to make the game feel more fair to play, and patches up the issue of jump inputs getting ignored if Red Ball is slightly airborne after getting kicked up by a small bump on the ground, something which happens quite frequently. The problem with this system arises because, upon jumping, Red Ball will be on the ground for 1 extra frame before actually becoming airborne. By doing a 1-frame tap, the game applies the jump force to Red Ball, starts a 3-frame jump cooldown timer, and disables the Coyote jump flag. But on the next frame, before the physics have processed, it notices that Red Ball is on the ground without the jump key pressed, so it re-enables the Coyote jump flag. After the jump cooldown timer expires on frame 3, Red Ball is able to jump again because it thinks that he just fell off a platform due to that 1 frame of being on the ground without the jump key pressed. Consequently, it is impossible to perform a double jump after a Coyote jump because the flag isn't reset. Red Ball exits the ground with 10.4 X velocity, and while airborne, Red Ball does not gain or lose velocity unless the opposite direction is held, meaning that speed is maintained for this entire section of the slope. In contrast, simply rolling up the slope causes the X velocity to drop to as low as 8.63, a decent bit slower. Unlike Red Ball 1, objects in Red Ball 4 have 0 restitution, or bounciness, so Red Ball's Y velocity is immediately set to 0 upon hitting the ground in most situations. As alluded to earlier, the speed from going down the slope causes Red Ball's X and angular velocities to go past 11 into the high 14s, where another frame 6 double jump is performed to clear these stairs without slowing down. Now, due to the imprecision in the mating of edges, rolling over almost any vertex in this game will cause Red Ball to get either a vertical or horizontal bump. The direction and magnitude of the bump depend on a multitude of factors, including the angle between the edges and Red Ball's position and velocity. Right before the bridge, there is a spot in the ground that Red Ball normally gets a small vertical bump from, which slows him down since some X velocity is converted into Y velocity. However, Box 2D intentionally incorporates a certain amount of leeway when determining if 2 objects are colliding. For Red Ball 4, this tolerance is set to 0.005 units, or 0.15 pixels. While the ground is at y equals 5.4583 units, Red Ball lands at y equals 5.454 units, a height that he maintains since it is within the range. This is just enough of a gap to allow Red Ball to roll over the corner without getting a bump from it. Red Ball's angular velocity increases on the bridge while his X velocity slightly decreases. But upon landing, the 2 values equal out at roughly 15 after the 2-to-1 conversion. A frame 3 double jump is performed to skip moving this box. The transition to the next level begins once Red Ball's center is within 30 pixels of this right boundary wall. Since Red Ball has a radius of 20 pixels, there's essentially a 10 pixel wide zone that he can land in to end the level without physically contacting the right wall. Since Red Ball is traveling at 15 units per second, or 15 pixels per frame, landing in this zone is not a given. If Red Ball misses the sweet spot and contacts the wall on the transition frame, all of his X velocity will be taken away before being placed in the next level, something that becomes even more of an issue at higher and higher speeds. However, by planning ahead, the task can ensure that speed is always maintained between levels, even if it means losing a few frames from intentionally non-optimal movement throughout the level. The task performs a jump on the transition frame, the force of which will be applied on the next frame, the start of level 2. When the game loads in level 2, the 3-frame jump cooldown timer that was initiated at the end of level 1 is reset, meaning that Red Ball is instantly ready for another jump. Red Ball's spawn position for level 2 is slightly in the ground, so a Coyote jump can go through on frame 1. This technique is known as a screen double jump, and since it isn't bound by the typical 3 to 8 frame window, it allows for access to a wider selection of double jump heights. The amount of speed going into level 2 was perfectly planned so that the frame 1 screen double jump would position Red Ball for an optimal corner boost off the back of this platform. The apparent speed boost comes from a good chunk of Y velocity being converted into X velocity, and it often allows for a double jump to be performed afterwards, as it is here. Red Ball converts some angular velocity to X velocity on this box and then performs a coyote jump to land on the next platform sooner. A single jump sets up a nice boost and horizontal bump off of this slope, whereafter a frame 3 double jump sends Red Ball to the end of the level, where another screen double jump is initiated. The screen double jump perfectly sends Red Ball to this slope where he is able to build up even more speed. Left is tapped for a frame, which decreases angular velocity by about 0.567 at high speeds, leading to an effective decrease of 0.19 X velocity. This leads to a better slope boost later in the level. Red Ball perfectly skims off of the boulder after a frame 8 double jump, incorporating another left tap and converting just enough X velocity into Y velocity to clear the wall and land on top of the slope. Thanks to those two left taps, Red Ball will conserve speed into level 4, and he is set up for an insane boost on the top of this second slope. A huge velocity conversion and a horizontal vertex bump combine to get Red Ball from 21.3 to 23.3 X velocity. This boost is the reason why, despite there being several ways to beat level 1 a frame faster than it is in this task, it is ultimately not worth it to do so. The possible speed generated from the slope just isn't as significant. These kinds of trade-offs are persistent throughout many levels in this task, as precise speed manipulation through left taps and neutral frames is often necessary to allow things to work out 1, 2, or more levels down the line. A frame 4 double jump is performed on the wooden platform to make Red Ball carry negative 7.83 Y velocity into level 4. The screen triple jump allows Red Ball to clear the entire starting gap, completely avoiding the cart that you are supposed to roll back and jump on to cross it. Red Ball gets a tiny boost by landing on the intersection between these two edges, yielding just the right amount of speed for him to conserve it into the next level. A frame 7 double jump is used to clear this entire bridge section and set up a corner boost on the end of the ground here, getting Red Ball up to 24.7 X velocity. A coyote jump is performed after rolling off of the box to just barely clear this entire valley, fully bypassing the boulder and box push puzzle. A frame 3 double jump is performed just before the end to set up another screen triple jump into level 5. The third jump is executed as a coyote jump on frame 8, which completely skips the slope and positions Red Ball to get a boost off the back of the boulder. Left is pressed alongside jump to reduce his angular velocity by 0.567, which ultimately saves time due to allowing for a more optimal level 6 completion. A frame 6 double jump places Red Ball on this rolling cart, and 2 normal jumps carry him to the end with negative 0.55 Y velocity. This value was carefully manipulated to make Red Ball get out of the ground quicker in the next level, which has an impact on the magnitude of the X velocity to angular velocity conversion. A left tap is performed on frame 1 to slightly reduce Red Ball's angular velocity, which sets up a perfect corner clip on this wooden spoke after the jump, converting a huge amount of X velocity into Y velocity. A frame 2 coyote jump is performed, and a 1 frame left shift is used to make Red Ball land at this spot, perfectly clearing the elevator. Since Red Ball is still moving upwards, his Y velocity is not reset upon making contact with the ground, so a jump here is able to increase it to negative 11.51. A frame 5 double jump allows him to barely avoid the cart that you are supposed to ride to solve a short puzzle to clear the wall at the end of the level. Red Ball gets a small vertical vertex bump at this spot on the slope while initiating a frame 6 double jump to land on the front corner of the ending platform. yielding a horizontal vertex bump. Left is tapped the frame before finishing the level to allow for a more optimal level 7. Level 7 is actually one of the few levels in the game where red ball spawns slightly off of the ground, which makes it impossible to set up a screen double jump or triple jump. Still, at 25.72x velocity, red ball is easily able to cross over the starting gap in a single jump. Thanks to precise position and velocity control, red ball is poised to enter the 0.15 pixel leeway zone above the ground on the next frame rather than fully contacting it. Alongside a left tap before the frame 6 double jump, these minute changes in position and velocity lead to a slightly better corner boost on this wooden spoke. With an immense 26.37x velocity, a single jump is all it takes to cross this entire water-filled gap. Left is pressed for 2 frames to reduce angular velocity to set up a better cart bump in level 8. Additionally, a screen triple jump is set up before entering the next level. A 1-frame left tap and a frame 5 coyote jump set up a corner boost on the platform all the way over here. A left press upon landing and a jump here perfectly sets up a double jump off of the corner of the cart the same frame the jump cooldown timer expires. This effectively yields a triple jump, which generates enough height to clear the windmill. An unavoidable vertical vertex bump is garnered after red ball rolls off the starting ledge. A frame 6 coyote jump carries him to the top spoke of this turbine that you are supposed to spin to raise this slope to make the jump across the gap possible. A left tap followed by a frame 5 coyote jump allows red ball to clear the wall with just about 0.6 pixels to spare. A single jump is all that is needed to cross the pond, and a coyote jump off of the slope effectively gets him to over 27x velocity. After jumping off of the wooden platform, red ball barely grazes the corner of the ending platform to reset the coyote jump flag while expending a negligible amount of x velocity. By jumping at negative 2.9 y velocity, red ball ends the level with negative 9.8 y velocity, which is exactly what is needed for a perfect entry into level 10. By entering the level with a large magnitude of y velocity instead of garnering it from a jump in level 10, red ball can land on this box a single frame sooner. It's worth mentioning that it is possible to get way more speed off of the ending slope in level 9, but doing so causes you to overshoot this box if you don't slow down. A frame 8 double jump combined with a left shift for later barely gets red ball to the top spoke of this turbine while it is slanted upward, converting some angular velocity into x velocity. The left shift comes into play as a frame 7 double jump yields a good boost from killing this enemy. The bounce sets red ball's y velocity to negative 8, which is enough to reach the ending ledge. A jump is performed on the transition frame into level 11. The transition jump lands red ball on top of this box, and some angular velocity is converted into x velocity as a result. This slight conversion happens due to the box moving slightly right when red ball